Afternoon, guys. Good to be back again. I actually wasn't too sure what to talk about this afternoon rather, and I was just chatting to Tom there, and he spelled out the obvious for me. Me, like many others in the last couple of weeks, have gotten a bit sick. It's that season. We're all indoors, we're all contaminating each other. It's just like big crashes, some of those offices, and everything gets passed around. So, should you train when you're sick? How should you get back to training? How can you combat these things? Well, sometimes when you're sick, your body needs to recover. There's nothing wrong with a bit of light training, but I wouldn't be trying to push things too hard. Especially because the way your body recovers from exercise was very similar to the way your immune system is going to recover from an illness. It uses very similar mechanisms. So that's the reason why, if you're sick, you should try to avoid hard training. You'll often see that after someone does a very hard athletic event, an example would be an Ironman or a marathon, they're quite likely to get sick, which is why taking a vitamin C coming up to and after a very long endurance event is highly advised and has been shown to actually reduce the chance of getting a cold after a marathon. Like, we had two girls here that I think it was 2 years ago, they both did an Ironman up in Cologne, they both got sick the week after. It just happens. There's very little you can do to combat it, like, you just need to be prepared for it. The other thing to keep in mind is if you're on antibiotics will put your body through a very similar recovery process to how it would recover from a workout. So because of that, if you're on antibiotics and you train, you've given your body double the work to actually recover from. It can negate the performance of the antibiotics, which might not be the best thing, because those antibiotics, you're on a cycle for say 7 days. If you've not fully recovered or feel like you've fully recovered before the end of the cycle, you will probably need an additional cycle of antibiotics. If you train during that period, the likelihood of you not recovering inside that amount of time is far less. So it is a case of being careful. Sometimes you need to take it easy. The other thing to be aware of is when you come back to training, obviously try not to go full bore. I'm going to try not to do that next week or this week when I get back to training. I really thought I would actually be training yesterday, but I actually didn't sleep one good night from Thursday, so I was a bit like the walking death in here yesterday. But you have to pick your battles. If you're finding it difficult to function through your everyday life, training might not be something you need to do right now. You might need to take the time to rest. You might need to take the time to recover. Get some good food, take some vitamin C, take some zinc, and relax. Because sometimes trying to push yourself to do more going to get you stressed, and you're not going to perform as well anyways. So don't be afraid to take a break if you do feel poorly. At the same time, if you're not that bad, there's nothing wrong with gentle training. Usually strength training, believe it or not, isn't as bad as cardio training. Very hard cardio training will tend to tax your body and your immune system quite harshly. Strength training is not as bad, it's a little more isolated. Now, that's a little anecdotal, but there are some papers I've seen in the past few years back that'll support that, but I'm not going to go out and say that it's proven or anything like that. But it has been generally shown that a couple of lighter sets of weights usually won't tax you as much as big long hard cardio session. So just to take it easy, there's no worry about coming back easy. It's a long road, you have several weeks to get back up to it. I mean, even if you take 1 week easy, it's better to take 1 or 2 easy weeks and be back on full board at the end of the month, rather than to relapse and then be another month without training. It's a difficult thing, and a lot of high-level coaches will often say the problem with high-level athletes is never getting them to train more. It's getting them to train less to allow them to recover. It's a long road. So that's the main of what it is today. Nice short one, but just remember, if you're feeling sick, take it easy, don't rush, give yourself the time to recover. And if it feels bad, it might not be the best time to train for you. Or if you do feel a bit ropey, just try to take it easy. You don't have to push it in every single session that you do. Okay? So best of luck, guys. We'll chat next week. Look forward to talking to you then.